welcome back to another episode of Movie Madness. Today, we're going to be going over Mel Gibson's new thriller, Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg. And this movie had some very interesting moments, let's just say that. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, the premise of this movie is quite simple. There is a key witness that needs to basically testify in a big old case. A hitman who tries to kill said witness, and then you got an agent who is basically set to defend the witness. And what makes this movie quite interesting is that all of this takes place literally on a plane as they're being flying from one city of Alaska to another. So of course the stakes are a little higher in this movie just because of like the confines of how everything and where everything takes place. Now, of course, our agent is Agent Harris. In the beginning of the movie, she is basically tasked to take a key witness that she was able to find, which is Winston, back to I believe it was New York as where the case is going to be held. And basically, she's got to get him there to basically testify. Once they get a plane chartered to fly them, everything seems fine until they find out that the pilot who's flying the plane is actually a hitman. And then that's when shit gets crazy to say the least. Now, everything I said is basically things that you've seen in the trailer, and for the most part that is basically the premise of the movie. The movie itself is about an hour and a half long, so not like too drawn out in my opinion. Now, what was I not expecting about this movie, being that it's kind of like a high stakes thriller, is the comedy. And that's what the character Winston is basically known for the entire movie. I mean, with the random quips he does, the random insults, and just his reactions of things, just most of it was pretty decent. There were just some moments where it just wasn't necessary, or it kind of takes away from the thrillness of the movie, is when his quips kind of come in. So I'd probably be like my one complaint about this in general for that. Now, of course, you got the agent who's taking care of him, who's tasked to protect him, to get him from point A to point B. Agent Harris, I mean, a straightforward, try to do the best thing. Obviously, throughout the movie, they do explain a little bit of her past, and because you do see that she has these moments where she feels a little like not tormented, but basically haunted by some things that might have happened in the past. And the movie does touch up a little bit on it, so it kind of helps you kind of get a sense of the character, I guess is a way of putting it. And yeah, it wasn't bad. She was a pretty good character. Some pretty badass moments when she's kicking Mark Wahlberg's ass just to get Winston to safety throughout the whole thing. And then of course you have to talk about Mark Wahlberg's character. He plays the pilot / the assassin that tries to kill both of these characters. And when I tell you that his portrayal of this sadistic, crazy, killer, trying to take care of these two, and then but also kind of like mentally unstable, was absolutely great. Like, I literally despised him throughout the entire time of the movie, once he's found out, all the way up until the end of the movie. And everybody, how Mark Wahlberg has just that look in his eyes where he just looks serious, like he's about to kick your ass, even though he's probably not thinking that. He just has one of those faces. He somehow takes that face and puts that crazed look in his eyes, and that the random crazy maniacal laughing he does is absolutely insane. And it was honestly my favorite part of the movie. My favorite part of the movie was the moments where he was basically being a menace and like just causing all kinds of hell to break loose. And it was great. Funny fact, we all thought that he was wearing a bald cap for this role, because you could see how he's got like part of his front part of his head is bald and then hair on the back. Check this picture out. It looks like he actually shaved his head for this part of the role. He didn't want to do a bald cap. He literally just shaved part of his head just to make it more authentic. So I think that's awesome that an actor is willing to go that far when it comes to filming a movie. So now, all in all, story wise, like I said, it was pretty straightforward. Nothing grandiose, nothing amazing. It wasn't, like I said, what threw me off was some of the comedy that was sprinkled into it. The thrillness is in there. and you know, some of the moments that these characters have amongst each other, it's there. And that's probably the only complaint I have of the movie itself, is just the comedy. Even though some of it's good, it's like some of it was a little bit unnecessary in certain parts of the movie. Just because of that, I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 5. And I definitely think it's worth watching in the movie theaters. I mean, like I said, it's not the greatest movie in the world, and yeah, it's like an hour and a half, so it's not gonna, like, you're not gonna waste, you know, what feels like forever of your time just to see it. But I definitely think it should be it's worth a watch for sure. Not one of Mel Gibson's best movies, I will admit that. It's not one of his best, but I'd give it a watch. Well, guys, that's it for this review. What did you guys think of the movie? Have you guys got a chance to see it? If so, leave a comment down below so we can have a discussion about it. Like I said, not a terrible movie, not Mel Gibson's best, but worth a watch. As always, I appreciate you guys for coming out, taking the time to check my video out, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.